Hey guys, how you doing again? Want to come back on here. Kind of had a little conversation. Next subject I wanted to talk about was my spiritual growth and kind of what started this whole process after it was about a year ago, a year and a half ago, and I want to kind of go over that and just kind of give you some tidbits on how I processed everything and how it was going by. So I used to work for a financial company, and I used to have I do still do have a best friend that works there. So, but we started talking for over a year, and we got to know each other very well. She played a very good critical part in that process. But I remember that I recently stopped talking to a girl once because I thought um, I was just still chasing love and still chasing a lot of other things in my life. Um, and then I read this book, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. And I highly recommend that book if you haven't read that book yet. And it started talking about hacking the subconscious mind and all these behavior patterns that we currently are experiencing as a collective, that we basically we have these patterns, we have these behaviors that have been programmed into us from a young age because our parents didn't know better, our parents didn't do other things, and then what happened is that got passed on to us at an early age, and then we encompass their traumas, their problems, plus our owns and everything throughout life. So and I love the exploration of the mind. I love growth and rebirths. I love awakenings. There's a lot of things that I love, that evolution. Like, oh, I'm all about evolution. Let's rebirth tomorrow. Let's do it again. I know that might sound crazy, but like it's just something I really enjoy. I love to swim in the fear. I love to be in that area of that makes you uncomfortable because I do believe when you get uncomfortable, things happen for you, and in all aspects of the world, financial, love, anything. You put yourself out there, which is another part why I'm doing these videos now, is because I want to put myself out there and I want to help people. I want somebody to take something, anything that I say, and be like, wow, that actually resonated really well, and apply that, and then next thing you know, their lives have changed or something for the benefit. I have a lot of people that come to me for guidance and advice in all aspects, in the gym, in life, in romance. So I after a certain amount of people have been coming to me, I decided to just get on here and see how many people I can reach and help. So Joe talks about hacking the subconscious mind, and it begins with a positive thought. So every time you have a negative thought or a negative reaction, to stop yourself and try not to attach. So I picture like a negative thought as like a river, and there's like a log or whatever there is, whatever you want to picture. And that's the negative thought. And my job is to let it keep flowing down that river because it does not belong to me. It does not attach to me. So I did a lot of that kind of work, visualization of the thought coming in and not holding that feelings. I am a person who's run by emotions. That is my chart. I can go into obviously some of the like astrology, human design, all that later on in another episode. But so I started to dive deeper into the subconscious mind. Then that book intrigued me and talked about when a negative mind, a negative thought comes into your mind, start replace it with a positive thought. The neurons start firing off in your brain, and then next thing you know, that positive thought creates another positive thought, and then creates another positive thought. And I currently, at the time, I was microdosing, and I do want to share that. I'll do another episode on microdosing as well and the benefits of that. But you start thinking positively, you start changing the complexion of your mind, and you break those habits, and you do that long enough, depending on your mindset and how strong you are. You start breaking your old habits and thinking thought is everything. Thought, which I learned through the gastric in my previous video, when I learned through life, your self awareness, your thought process, your mind is heaven on earth, right? Well, what is up is down. Everything that you read in books and in terms about is your mindset. Your mindset controls. And that's why I love physical working out and like hit workouts and just being active, because that's the opportunity you get to battle the mind with the body, because when we're only ran by emotions, then you let your body dictate your actions and your choices in life. And when I learned through that with the gastric, is that my mind is the one that makes the thoughts subconsciously, and you really have to like be particularly observant of your mind and what you're saying, because that's what regulates your thoughts. And then when you work out high intensity, you know how many times you want to give up, you want to stop working out, you're like, I can't finish this workout, but then you finish it, and then you're like, wow, I feel fantastic that I finished. See, those are all tricks. Your mind is like a muscle. You keep working that out until you start develop. It's so strong that your body, your emotions cannot control your reactions in your mind. So he talks about that kind of subconscious hacking, looking through the mirror, looking through who you are, looking through your soul. There he talks about rewiring your brain. There's people that actually have cured some of their diseases just by their minds. And he talks, there's proof, there's hard physical studies and proofs that talks about coming into the manifestation stage and the theta, the beta, all the stages that you can actually come into a zone, the meditation, get into that subconscious and start working on that. So I did that. I started working on the microdosing combined together. So and having the thought process and the meditations and everything, and really being self-aware of what your thoughts are, how you're going throughout your day, what made you choose one reaction, what made you say another reaction, catch yourself in a spiral, and all those behaviors because of his book, and started to really go and explore and the creativity of it all as well, started this journey and this path of awakening that I've been through. I do a very good job in following my intuition, and intuition is also key. We might not know that that you're going through your certain actions and you're using your intuition because you're not aware and you're not in that stage of life yet, but all of us have this innate ability for intuition, innate ability to make subconscious choices. And you start really hounding in and combining to see what is intuition, what is from the heart, what is your gut telling you. How many times have you gone through something and your guts told you something about that person, or your guts told you something about something else, and you're like, I was right. I was right in that person all along. And that's your intuition working. That is the energy and frequency that that person is emanating, or that event is emanating, that doesn't resonate for who you are. So, and I'm a big believer in the study of the energy of people. Do you know how many times in my life I've been able to know what people are thinking, their thought process in their head, or have a gut feeling about a certain situation, or know somebody's lying just by looking at them? And that's why people come to me in that sense, because I provide a safe space for people to have their emotions and have their what they want to talk about. And that's, to me, as a provider, and we'll go through that in another episode, but not to veer off the subject really much. But it's the manifestation process, the subconscious part, the mindset, the the deep breaths, and the work, the shadow work, the fears and insecurities and the traumas attached to who you are does not serve you anymore. So just to correlate, the gastric bypass opened my eyes and made me have to be self-aware of who I am in my body. Then throughout life experiences and who I am, I started to really hound in on what makes me work, what makes me tick, what habits do I have that is not healthy? What other aspects of my life do I want to change and grow? Because I don't know about you, but I was tired of being who I am. I was tired of things not working. I was tired of eating my emotions away, of chasing this fake love, dopamines, or physical attraction, because I just wanted to feel the joy thrills of love when it came to sex, and the enlightenment of going after another or counterpart, woman or man, whoever you're into. It's just, it became a toxic habit, and it became something that I didn't want to do anymore in my life. So I highly recommend to start with some kind of book like that, Atomic Habits, Becoming Supernatural, all these books, Rich Dad Poor Dad. There's so many books out there of self-development and growth that helped me transpire into who I am and how I started to think about it. Now I've developed such a good mindset for most parts, because I have my parts that I do suffer a little bit as well. Sometimes you overthink, you get caught in your own aspects, but at the end of the day, um, you truly hold the key to your happiness and enlightenment. And you can force an awakening in a sense if you just start changing your behaviors. You start noticing, you start becoming self-aware, and all it takes is that one time. All it takes is that one time that you start noticing your behavior that doesn't fit you anymore, and the sky's the limit, my friend. The sky is the limit after that. So I just wanted to kind of go over that and kind of kind of how that started with me and kind of the journey that goes by. So now you guys got an idea of where I came from, the mindset, um, the I was in banking, right? I was in sales, so that's all psychological as well. So I'm just a big proportion of psychological motivation, discipline, self-awareness, energy, and meditation. Everything that we want to do that we want in life is hard, and it requires you to tackle that head on. And if you can't tackle that head on, it requires you to start developing the mindset and willpower to grow and become that person until you realize you're doing those habits and you never know who you are, and then next thing you know you're a changed person. It takes only takes two weeks to develop a new habit and a month to really hound that in. So hopefully this video helped some of you. Again, I'm going to create more content here and kind of talk a little bit more, but it was a pleasure. Subscribe if you have it, and I look forward to kind of talking to you guys more and engaging. Thank you.